Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1688, January 6th. 5 years ago today, there was a war or something. 49 degrees was the record high on this day in 1900. And it was 27 below on this day in 1912. Chilly back then. And call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for your free 48-minute consultation.
Hi, King.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
The governor is speaking now.
Good one.
Is he done?
Yeah, right.
No, he's come out and
$10
answered.
million you owe Reavers.
He's come out and answered two questions at this point.
No, you owe me $1.
Oh, here he comes. He's going to answer another one.
Well, let's catch it then.
No, I don't think so.
Oh. He turned this into, it was pretty much a celebration of the family leave initiation and how it will work so well. And I hope it does. I mean, we're stuck with it. Here's the
I
other,
hope people don't take advantage of it.
Well, here's
That's
the
what I
other
hope.
thing where we find ourselves in the position
that
of
building blocks to making Minnesota the best state in the country for to raise a family, and we're off and running. And I think it's pretty impressive
right now
to get this thing going. Of all the implementations we have to implement as the legislature writes it, but by the 12th, we're going to have people receiving their payments. With that, I'll take some questions.
Governor, did you make the decision to end your campaign by yourself, or did you receive pressure from Democratic allies?
This is a decision that I make and make with my family. And certainly, I think, as I said, it's the right decision. I'll note, I think it's appropriate we're here today. The war that's being waged against Minnesota, you're seeing it. We have a ridiculous surge of apparently 2,000 people not coordinating with us that are for a show of the cameras. I'm going to note to all of you, today is January 6th. There's no debate what happened. The President of the United States led an insurrection against a fair election to try and overturn
I
that.
thought this was about why Walls
report both sides of this. Well, he said he really didn't, and courts convicted 400 of them, and he pardoned them. No, he did that. He did that, and that's today. And it's clear that we also saw today he implemented 5 states are being punished with a freezing of federal funds illegally that were appropriated by Congress, our tax dollars. And I find it interesting that Minnesota, California, Illinois, and New York were taking that. The interesting thing is the biggest fraud trial in the country is taking place in Mississippi today with $100 million of welfare fraud. I don't believe Mississippi was on that list. So look, this is a concerted effort to try and destroy the president's opponents, to destroy the rule of law. And it became apparent to me that he was going to do that with me being there. And I just feel, along with my family, that it's the best decision for Minnesota. And I feel very confident in that. I think it's going to be clear that Minnesotans agree with that.
Governor, can you talk about more? Can you break down your
I can't listen to this guy.
Didn't the Joe Thompson investigation
talked to everybody.
start during the Biden administration? It did. I'll
yes.
answer my own question. Yes, it did.
I spoke with all of the delegation, let them know. I spoke with a lot of key allies. I spoke with my family, and just let them know that this is what we were going to do. And Senator Klobuchar was one of those conversations. I think that
Klobuchar told him he wasn't going to run. Klobuchar will run. All of these players that were involved in this horribly incompetent administration will land on their feet. It's the third rail protecting their own. They're merely going to shuffle the deck, and Walls will end up somewhere. Flanagan will end up somewhere. Klobuchar will switch from the Senate to here. They don't give a bleep about us. This is all about them holding on to their privileged way of life as a politician.
Who is us, Minnesotans,
Yes.
or just the Republicans?
Yes.
Okay.
Minnesotans. I think the entire political class does not care about the American people. I think the American people are treated horribly by the political class and by the third rail. And I think when all of this shakes out, every one of these incompetent people will be well taken care of. They'll end up
landing on their feet.
They'll land on their feet, or in Walz's case, even if he doesn't, he could begin collecting, his 6 or 7 pensions that he has.
Got to buy a house.
Maybe he could even buy a house somewhere, unless he moves to China. I don't know.
On our LGBT community, especially our trans community, stay the hell out of Minnesota for the folks who want to hassle those people.
That's
These are our
always
neighbors.
a hill they've been willing to die
So for me, it
on,
became, if I can be as effective doing that, and it's clear, look, I don't know, I don't think any governor in history has had to fight a war against the federal government. Every single day, and now it's reaching down into
gaslighting. It's mendacity. It's lying.
It's too much to take this.
Fabrication. He's turned a federal investigation that started before Trump was in office into a personal battle between Trump and Walz.
Right.
This is about fraud.
I wish he would have just stuck with, this is about family leave today. I'm not going to answer any other questions.
He tried, Matthew.
Let's get back to fraud. It is so significant here, so widespread in multiple governmental agencies. Yesterday I said, let's go back to the beginning. Who among us is in a position to learn of these hastily assembled legislative bills? They're not on the news. They're not in the news. They're not even on Twitter. This is just the work of the government. Today they did X and Y and B, but somebody's watching and somebody's knowing. Well, we've mentioned it before, and it's worth mentioning again, that Ilhan Omar was responsible for House Rule 6187, the Meals Act, for School Meals During School Closures Act. Remember that COVID led to many sins, and among them...
Here is your latest Ilhan Omar report on Garage Logic.
Among the many sins was Minnesota having the most, if not having one of the most, if not the most strict COVID enforcement policies in the nation. And in the middle of that, Omar authors this bill, House Rule 6187, which John Heidt and I talked this morning. That bill on its own did not pass. Is that correct, John?
It didn't even make it to the House floor.
Okay, what happened to that resolution of hers?
A week after, during that week, that's when COVID was ramping up. It was March 10th. Everything started with that bill.
2020.
Up to, I think it was March 18th, a bill was put forth that was the result of negotiations between House Democrats and the Trump administration. And that took not just the Department of Agriculture Department, but it took all the departments and gave them certain things to do that would, help during the COVID situation. And some of those rules that were in the original access to lunch for students, the Meals Act, some of that was in that bill. And it went to the House, and it passed 363 to 40, and then it passed 90 to 8 in the Senate, and then President Trump signed it on 3/18.
Right. You have something?
It was a joyous day with 2 empty seats from someone who's murdered. But, there's rumors out there and all this. That is freaking evil. And every one of you in this room knows it's evil. And that type of hate and those types of threats that are actionable, yes. And look, I'm concerned for my...
Stop. He's right.
That's why I wanted to... Because I could tell he was talking about Hortman.
Right.
Yep.
Let's continue. So Omar cannot be considered personally responsible for writing the bill that ultimately got signed. But in that bill were provisions that she was championing, among them sending money to the states to feed schools children because schools were closed.
Correct.
Now, at the time that bill was signed and Trump okayed it, maybe the thought was, yes, this COVID is overwhelming and we better do everything we can. And various actors handled the bill in different ways. Handled the food provision in different ways. In some states, there apparently was no fraud whatsoever. In other states, there was fraud. In Minnesota, there was fraud at the World Series winning level. Now, I choose to believe with no evidence that Ilhan Omar had a role in how should I say this? Ilhan Omar had a role in this mystery we're trying to solve, and that is alerting people to what's coming down the pathway here from Washington. I'll put it this way. I would not be surprised if she was in contact with people to say, you're not going to believe, you should be aware that an extraordinary amount of money is going to be made available to feed children. Perhaps she has a relationship with Amy Bach. If I was going to explore this story, that's where I'd start. I'd call in a couple of reporters and I'd say, take 5, 6, 7 days, whatever you need, and just see if there was ever a relationship between Amy Bach and Ilhan Omar. I don't know if there was, but it's a fraud of such significant width and breadth that it had to have some organizers. It had to have somebody behind the scenes who, A, knew the money was coming, and B, how easily it might be to take that money fraudulently. That I don't think has ever been established in this state. Maybe Joe Thompson has that on his list. He's busy now with the people thrown right in front of him who have to give back their BMWs. He's got a lot on his plate right now. It's just staring him in the face. But how did it start? And why did it start? And how did it become so widespread? Even Joe Thompson said everything in Minnesota is fraudulent. Every agency is conducting fraudulent business. So Omar, if in fact Omar is the one, and I do not know that, she also had to know that the bad actors that Walz had put in place were incompetent enough to not question any of this. They were going to let it happen. And in the early stages of it happening, Walz, according to Marion Rarick, and employees of the Department of Human Services said, Walz instructed people to let the money keep going. So this is fraud that's out of the ordinary.
Corroborated, by the way, last week in your absence by Pat Garofalo.
Okay.
What Marion Rarick said.
But this is fraud that has some machinery behind it. This isn't people who got lucky and decided on a whim to go apply to get food money and call themselves the Acme Food Feeding Company or whatever. This had machinery behind it. I don't think we've touched the machinery. Now, I'm rooting for Joe Thompson to do that. Perhaps they will. The federal investigators are not done with this. But this, in no way can this be written off as something that just happened by happenstance.
It happened you're right, it happened too fast, and there were too many willing participants in such a short amount of time.
So a jury found both Amy and Salim. Is it Syed or Saeed?
I'd go Saeed.
They found both of those guilty. Saeed owned the restaurant.
Safari Restaurant.
Yeah, he's a former owner. I want to know, I guess you've already stated this clearly, what was the connection between Amy and Ilhan, right?
I don't even know if there was one.
But wouldn't it just be part of Amy's job to know what funds were coming and what were available? There might not be any collusion there because this might just have been part of Amy's job. She just knows. She follows that stuff.
Yeah, there are people in place that follow these bills to see if they're going to be at an advantage or not.
Exactly.
And so she might very well, that might be the extent of that.
Right.
Or Omar needed a white Minnesotan to front the deal. Who knows? I have no idea. No idea. But I do know that this was big enough and complex enough to construct a machinery that has not been examined.
Yeah.
That has not been examined, much less dismantled. So it's a fascinating story.
And it is Ilhan's bill 311-2020.
The bill that got passed overwhelmingly in both the Senate and the House was not authored by Omar.
There's about 20 names connected to it, if not more. Well, probably more than 20 from what I'm seeing.
It was sponsored by Nita Lowey of New York. I don't know who that is.
No, I don't know
who that.
She was a senator from New York. No idea.
All right.
But clearly, Ilhan, who had an active hand in the creation of the bill, had to the point where, as a trial balloon, she was establishing her own House resolution. It's interesting that didn't even get to the floor. I don't know why. Was it too patently obvious what she was up to? I don't know why that did not get to the floor. In any event, the bill that did pass unleashed this torrent of federal money, which is your money, available to not just to Minnesota, but to all the states. And here it went bananas. It was the guy at the state fair with the sledgehammer. He rang the bell with this in this state. Yeah. It really worked here.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I have to.
Yeah.
We got it.
Oh, dang it. I was listening to it in Q.
Yeah.
He was going on a Trump tirade.
Well,
so Joe, I tried to count the names, Joe.
Yeah.
I got up to 39, so give or take a few. And every single one of them has a D behind their names. And there's some big names there. Alexandria, Rashida, the usual suspects.
Well, it stands to reason that at the time of COVID, a rep would love to return to their state and say, look what I've helped accomplish. We have money coming your way. We don't want anybody to be hungry.
You bring up a good point. How many of those actually read it?
Well,
You've seen the length of some of these bills. Yeah. They're ridiculous.
But that explains the metro area, not Pequot Lakes.
Well, because, again, they hit it with a sledgehammer here. They literally were looking for places to establish new fake meal sites. They had the metro covered. Mm. They were at Pequot Lakes, for God's sakes. And they were in southern Minnesota and western Minnesota. And it was all fraudulent. And it was discovered. And then federal prosecutors got involved. And they remain involved, and they will continue to be involved. But the actual machinery of this, I don't think, has been examined or dismantled.
Joe, you asked why it didn't make it to the House floor?
Yeah.
It didn't make it out of committee, the Committee on Education and Labor.
All right.
It was introduced there and never made it out of committee.
All right.
And it wasn't until COVID that it went through, right, John?
Well, it was
during COVID that she wrote this.
Yeah,
okay.
She first introduced it.
Yeah, we might be going down a dead-end street.
No, stay with COVID. March 18th.
I mean putting Amy and Ilhan in the same room.
Well, maybe we can't put them in the same room. I've been very careful here. Ilhan Omar might be as innocent as the driven snow.
You funny.
Hold on.
We don't know that.
Whoa! Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
I got it.
Here is your latest Ilhan Omar report on Garage Logic.
You would think, just out of curiosity, somebody would try to get to the bottom of how her net worth grew to $32 million.
Why do you have to be such an Islamophobe?
I guess I am.
Right.
Why are you so racist?
You hate them.
Yeah.
Did you see, by the way, the follow-up to some of the child care stuff? It was no cameras, no photo, not welcome, no trespassing.
Unless you work for the Star Tribune and a few other AP. Yeah,
there's 3 kids sitting here.
Suddenly they're listening to very soothing Somali lullabies.
Oh, it's
I read that in the paper and I thought, And I looked at the bylines. They seem to me to be, like Jim Johnson type names. How did they know it was a Somali lullaby?
And how would they choose?
What's a Somali lullaby sound like?
Here we go.
Oh, boy. A lullaby.
Hate to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I hate to put me on the spot.
Yeah, I might be want to be a little careful here.
Yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and proceed with that. I may, for fear of incriminating
Way
myself.
to dangle a hook in front of him, though.
I'll plead the fifth.
Well, but that's...
Wait, I think I might be able to help you, Matthew. Are you ready?
I don't think
that was the OGO rap
music.
Yeah. All you Somalis sitting in the house. Time for your nap. Be as quiet as a mouse.
All right, we're done. Because I have to read this.
That's all I got.
From Randy. The purpose of Omar's resolution, which became at least a part of the bill that ultimately was approved, to allow the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, to grant waivers for school meal programs during closures due to public health emergencies, extreme weather, or other events, ensuring consistent nutrition for students. Other authors and co-sponsors, that key supporters included Representative Fudge, Morell, Courtney, Trone, Sablin, Jayapal, De Saulnier, Grijlava, Takano, Wild, Levine, Schreier, Adams, Hayes, Presley, Occasional Cortex, and others. Maybe Ilhan is just terribly altruistic and we've just misread her. Maybe she was very worried about hungry kids. Do you think, maybe?
Could very well be. Not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been using my garage door like a rented mule.
What have you been up to?
Opening and closing it to get the slush out of there. You
Just
know what
you?
I'm saying?
Or does anybody else use the garage door?
Just me. No, other people use the garage door, but I'm opening it and closing it to do the cleaning. If you're doing the same and your garage door is acting up, get a hold of Precision Garage Door.
Or if you have a wife that has timing off.
Right. Maybe she's back through the door twice. If you need a new door, Precision Door has you covered with models for every budget. A designer comes out, they take care of that. And right now, $500 off the purchase of a new door and the operator combination. If you like your door, Precision Door is offering a noisy door tune-up special for $149 at $290 value. Let them check that thing out with a 25-point safety inspection and get the maintenance now that you need to get through the rest of this winter, because we're having a real winter. Book online at precisiondoormn.com or call 612-263-6985 to schedule your free noisy door tune-up special with Precision Door.
Who doesn't love this time of year? Football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Underdog is so easy, you just pick if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. If you get your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So many great players to choose from this time of season, but the way I look at it, I think Matthew Stafford to go higher on yards passing is always a good way for me to go, and Saquon Barkley's a nice pick to go higher on rushing yards. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code GARAGE to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code GARAGE. Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
March 18th, or near that date when the bill was approved in 2020, that was St. Patrick's Day, or right around St. Patrick's Day. And I remember St. Patrick's Day being important because that's when everything shut down in this state.
Yeah.
Yes.
Restaurants shut down, bars shut down. Everything shut down except big box operations. Ma and Pa's
They didn't
hardware
have COVID.
store
They
had to
didn't-
shut.
Big boxers didn't have the COVID.
In fact, by
Little
the way,
bakeries had to shut, but, Menards didn't have to.
Right.
but in fact, Ellison went after those that decided that they
Yeah.
were in the same ball game.
Ellison's got to go. Flanagan's got to go. Walls has got to go. I know that Amy's probably engineering the reshuffling of the deck, but she'd really show Minnesota something if she also got rid of that kind of baggage, because Ellison has been absolutely useless in dealing with the fraud. Absolutely useless. Not to mention he's got a kid on the. Well, is his kid off the Minneapolis Council now?
I don't know if he's still
wait a
double
minute.
dipping or not.
I don't know.
Didn't the new people start this week?
The first?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So there's machinery. That machinery has not. There's a large steel door that has not been pried open yet to get inside the vault and look at the machinery of how this happened. And the only reason I believe that is because the fraud here was championship level. It was too big to be anything other than very carefully husbanded by people in the know, whether that be Amy Bach or others. I don't know, and then it was compounded by a gubernatorial administration that was either thrilled by it or didn't know what to do about it. Or I still think Walls didn't put any money in his pocket, but he just handled it. He handled it extremely poorly. Now, could it be worse here? Could it be worse? We've talked about the mayor that Seattle elected. One of the most woke human beings to ever live.
Lived with her parents, right?
Yeah, and she, what's her name?
Katie something.
Yeah. What the hell's her name?
I can find it for you.
She now is believing that most drug possession and public use of drugs.
Katie Wilson.
They shouldn't be prosecuted. You should be able to do the drugs right there on the sidewalk, and you should receive a diversion rather than prosecution. Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes circulated an internal message detailing how low-level drug cases will be handled this year, fueling concerns among critics that the city is effectively softening enforcement just weeks into Mayor Katie Wilson's administration. City officials insist there has been no policy change, but critics argue the practical impact tells a different story. In the internal email obtained by Fox News Digital, because I guess conventional news gathering institutions really don't care, Barnes wrote that all changes related to drug possession and/or drug use will be diverted from prosecution to the Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion Program, citing guidance from the city attorney's office. The directive applies to user quantity cases, while drug dealers and those eligible for the program remain subject to prosecution. This Katie Wilson has never accomplished anything. She's married. She has a child. I don't know if she's living at home or her parents take care of the child or whatnot, but we looked at her when she first was being forecasted to win. And Seattle, I don't know how Seattle survives this. They do.
Is this all drugs, Joe?
Yeah, apparently.
With the fentanyl problems we have?
It's. Let's read it.
Are we talking weed?
In an opinion piece published by Seattle Red, conservative radio host and Seattle commentator. So, again, everyone else is a left winger, but they don't call themselves left wing because this guy doesn't think with the tribe. He's considered a conservative radio host. Jason Rance argued that diverting most drug use and possession away from prosecution undermines accountability, regardless of how city officials describe the policy. Rance said that when arrests were not followed by prosecution, the message to offenders is that public drug use carries no real consequences. Criticism also comes from, well, isn't Mary doing that to a certain extent? Aren't we? Mary's a big fan of the diversion programs. Is she in her last year of service?
She's just about done.
She's not seeking re-election like the governor.
What a great trend to start for Dems.
Speaking to Rance on his radio show, Seattle Police Officers Guild President Mike Solon sharply criticized the approach outlined in the police email, warning it puts public safety at risk and sends the wrong message about open drug use. Solon told Rance that diverting drug use cases away from prosecution is dangerous and reflects what he described as a naive political approach to addiction. So the Katie Wilsons, the closer you get to the country's tallest buildings, they must fully embrace the idea that the drug users are merely victims. They've been unfairly oppressed. They have these problems, and we should not throw them in jail for that.
Did you see now that Katie is clarifying that there is no policy change on these arrests?
Well, the police certainly think there is.
And that this is wrong?
Mm-hmm. But the police are continuing their insistence that this is what they're facing from the Seattle city attorney.
Yeah, and you're right about what the Seattle police chief said, Sean Barnes.
We fight for affordable housing and childcare.
Who's this?
It is not just about solving the math problem of how to make your household's revenue exceed its expenses. And when we talk about shaping our transportation system and our neighborhoods, it's not just about making people's commutes safer or shorter or less polluting. It's about opening up the time and the space where life happens, where people can breathe and experience and create, where we can be full human beings and not just means to an end. I want to live in a city that honors what you're doing when you're not making money. I mean the time that you spend with your kid at the playground or caring for a sick friend. I want to live in a city that celebrates the labor that people perform voluntarily. A city that values the pursuits that create beauty and community, whether or not
I was wondering, it lasted a lot longer than I thought you were going to.
According to what I'm reading, she says the policy allows officers to use their discretion on when it's appropriate.
Oh, you're not exempt from the rule, Ken.
To arrest someone.
Truth, justice, and the suture.
That remains in place. What a mess.
So just so you know, this mayor wants to honor what you do when you're not making money, to honor the time you spend with your kids and family.
It's none of her business.
Friend. Boy, that seems like a guy we just heard from a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, we want to pay you not to work.
How do you do that?
Come to Minnesota. No, I got a legitimate email from a guy who applied for family leave so his wife can take care of him because he's got stage 4 lung cancer.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that there will be sainted reasons this gets used. There's sainted reasons to feed a child.
But that's not the problem.
The problem
is the 90% of everyone else that's going to rip the system off.
So good luck to us all. I know this is the best state in the nation to raise a family. That's what Tim says.
Yeah, he said that yesterday.
But man, it's very expensive to raise a family here. Very expensive.
I kind of feel like I've been getting paid for not working for, I don't know, probably 3 decades or so.
Well, you're right. I'm ready to take a time out.
Can we prosecute you, Matthew?
I didn't take any state money.
I know one thing that this state has and that we can all prop up and be thankful for. It's Schoonover Body Works and Auto Care. Whatever that vehicle of yours needs, you can find it right there at Schoonover's, and that includes all levels of body works, from minor scratches to frame replacement. Seriously, they do it all. General repair, tires, accessories, oil changes, and glass, including the fancy new glass with all the sensors and electronic stuff. Of course they do that. There's no worries when you leave your vehicle at Schoonover's. You can rest easy knowing that it's going to come back with all the work done efficiently and professionally. Every single employee at that joint treats your vehicle like it's their own. And if you have an insurance claim, boy, you're in luck. There's no better shop in Minnesota to handle the repairs. Schoonover isn't beholden to the insurance companies like so many other shops are. They're beholden to you, to us, and they're going to handle that claim for you. Schoonover Body Works and Auto Care, 80 years strong now in the Metro, and the official shop of Garage Logic. They're right there in Shoreview, 1060 County Road E, and they're on the web, of course, SchoonoverBodyWorks.com.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
How many people live in New York City? Is it 10 million, roughly?
Let's get an actual count. Let me look up.
How's Mamdani going to do?
Did you see his comments about Rikers Island?
No, but he became very noted for one of the remarks in his inaugural address.
Joe, 2020 census about 8.89 million.
A lot of people there.
Yes.
And he said, we are going to replace individualism with the warmth of collectivism. Those are the most frightening words ever uttered in the United States.
I started a list before Christmas. You wanted a list: equitable, sustainable, passionate, et cetera, collectivism. Is that one of the words we should add to the list?
That's at the heart of Marxism, this phony collectivism.
Collectivism.
Okay. And like Maduro, who lived in a gated castle, Mamdani will be living in Gracie Mansion. I guess everybody else is supposed to be collective. Those are frightening words. Individuality is the key to human life. It's your soul. And he would think nothing of stripping you of your soul and your freedom in his view for the larger interest of everyone being the same, which is all collectivism really means, is everyone has to be the same. And I just think, I'm going to call it 10 million, Rook.
Okay.
I just think in a city of 10 million, there's going to be a lot of people that don't buy that BS. Just quite a few people who aren't going to buy it. And I have no idea how he is supposed to govern. Because I would imagine that most people are going to reject that nonsense. Don't tell me I'm not an individual. But that's meeting for calisthenics outside the broom factory every day at 10 a.m. And we're all the same. Collectivism has a warmth to it. No, it doesn't. Under collectivism, how many millions of people have been killed in this world? How many people have been killed by Marxism, communism, collectivism? Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people have been slaughtered.
They call them billions.
And you're saying New Yorkers are saying, don't strip me of my identity. I'm unique.
Well, that's why I say 10 million people in New York. Good luck to you, Mamdani. I just don't think your BS is going to get very far.
I wish him luck.
The jail population of Rikers has increased since Eric Adams has come into office by more than 1,000 additional incarcerated New Yorkers. And what is quite staggering to me is that we know that we can reduce that jail population to less than 4,000. I mean, Vital City had an article about a number of different proposals that could reduce it to 3,700. And some of this also just has to look at the average stay on Rikers in the 90s was 50 days. Now it's more than 100. There are more than 1,500 people on Rikers who have been held there for more than a year. So I do think many of the reforms that have to be made are also reforms around the court system and ensuring that people are actually having speedy.
This guy's got a lot of work to do. Here's his exact quote.
What about criminals? The guilty?
There aren't any. Remember,
systemic, Ken.
In Marxist Russia, there was no crime.
That's right.
There was no crime. There was no crime.
Child 44.
Because that would have been a poor reflection on the state,
right,
to admit there was crime. But here is Mamdani's exact inaugural quote. We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. So he holds rugged individualism in contempt, and he finds it frigid. I don't even know what the frigidity of rugged
frigidity.
I don't even know what. I'm not sure that works there.
It's when your Frigidaire or refrigerator isn't working.
Well, he's saying that rugged individualism is cold, and our way of viewing the world is warm.
What does that mean?
There's not an American that should agree with that statement.
Not one.
There's not one.
Not
American.
one.
Oh, wait. No,
well,
John.
Robin Wansley.
I was going to say, John, I don't think
that's a good. Yeah,
I agree with it.
The city council.
Chug tie.
Right. John, I agree with
Katie
you.
Wilson.
Yep. Let's go down the list.
I mean, there's tons of them.
Jeremiah Ellison, when he's not here, he's over in Boston.
And he wants the warmth of you paying for his airplane ticket.
Why do you have to be so frigidity? You have to be frigidity.
No, I don't like
But what does that mean for the future? That taking that statement, what does that mean for the New Yorkers?
Means you're no longer making your own decisions.
Like
anything.
I can't help but think about Mike Tyson's famous quote, the great Mike Tyson. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And in this case, it would be one of those criminals that he let walk or go free would gladly walk up to him, punch him in the face, take his keys and his wallet and his phone and walk away.
This fruitcake is 34 years old. If he was 50 and had legitimate life experience in jobs and in sampling different political ideologies throughout the years, that'd be one thing. You know, okay, you want to give this a shot. He is a nobody who's never done anything. The failed academy did a wonderful job on him, and here he is. It's the same with the activists who are loading up the Minneapolis and St. Paul city councils. It's the same with the mayor in Seattle. These are non-entities who bring nothing to the table except their BS, which is being bought by similar failed academy
We will draw
wannabes.
this city closer together.
No, we won't.
We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism.
Oh,
Jesus.
If our campaign
and he gets the crowd
demonstrated that the people
cheers.
of New York yearn for solidarity, then let this government foster it. Because no matter what you eat, how you pray, or where you come from, the words that most define us are the two we all share: New Yorkers. We will.
Rugged individually. that built this country. That's why this country is the best in the world.
That's why no American should agree with that statement. I agree completely.
But remember, the failed academy has done a hell of a job disabusing these young people of the idea that this is a great country.
When did the bus
They
rides?
say this is a foul country that had imperialistic notions. Never mind, we just invaded Venezuela.
Ignore that portion.
Ignore that one.
He's a drug dealer.
Yeah, he's a drug dealer.
Don't interrupt him. He's rolling.
You know, the founding fathers were white and they were racist and they owned slaves. This was a terrible, terrible country. And now you got a bunch of 30-year-olds who believe that.
By the way, are the bus rides free today in New York?
Not yet.
That's going to take a minute?
I think that's going to take some rugged individualistic negotiation.
Got it. Do I still have to pay rent?
Not yet.
Okay.
You know what's going to be awesome?
Yes.
For you young GLers out there, I had an opportunity to go down 42nd Street in New York in the mid-'70s. It was just like it was out of Taxi Driver. It was frightening. In just a matter of a few years, you GLers, you youngsters will be able to experience that too.
Exact same
with
thing.
a visit to New York.
Yeah.
It's a renaissance.
Yeah.
I spent all my time in New York in the 70s.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah. It was frightening.
Yeah.
Virginity?
You couldn't lock the door enough.
Went for a walk with Rod Carew to show me his birthplace.
That's right.
Or his youth home where he lived in the Bronx. And he said, "You got any jewelry?" I said, "No." And he said, "Well, I'm turning mine in." And he took his all-star ring and turned it into his palm. "We don't want to show anything," he said.
Right.
"You don't want to show anything."
Okay, so where is the line that those New Yorkers say it's not okay to take my money versus the ones that are saying, yeah, we love the socialism concept?
How is that going to play out? How and when?
That's
You're
why
right.
I say I think Zorro's got his work cut out for him. I really do. I think it's going to be a tough. I think it's going to be a tough sale.
I can help answer Rookie's question by this.
Yes.
The billionaire tax, whatever it was in California, took effect yesterday. Check out the old mass migration in the great state of California in the past week.
Gaping hole.
Oh my
Well, how
God.
many? I mean, how many billionaires? 5.
But Chris, New Yorkers aren't going to flee.
You don't think so?
They're going to fight. They're going to fight.
If I were young and energetic, I would take that sound video there of him saying that, and then I would cut right to Robert De Niro going, "You talking to me?
You talking to me? There's nobody else here. You must be talking to me."
I don't think the billionaires will be the first to flee. I think it'll be the $500,000 a year of people who will be
right. But the common everyday making under $150 a year, they're not going anywhere.
No, they're stuck.
But they're going to be stuck with the bill.
No, they're stuck with warmth collectivism. Don't you understand how this works?
Frigidity.
That's here. We're getting rid of the fridges.
She gone. She gone. Why might I say she is gone?
200 billionaires in California. More
200?
more than any other state.
Wow.
And if they got a nice place and they can see the ocean, they're not in as much of a hurry to leave in California as somebody making $300,000 a year, or somebody that cannot rebuild their house in Pacific Palisades because it's not allowed yet.
But the impact of someone making that kind of money leaving, as opposed to 10 people making $300,000, is far more significant.
Yeah.
I agree.
I can't wait. The Bowery's going to return to its once former hellhole of a neighborhood where you could see guys beating the hell out of prostitutes.
What if we bring back the Bowery Boys with Satch and the guys?
Oh, my God.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Hey, Bellows.
Roger. This isn't Roger. This is Satch. It's on the walkie-talkie. Jesus.
There ain't no warm collectivism at Bradshaw and Bryant. It's rugged individualism. Lawmen, attorneys who are going to help you through a tough time if you're ever injured in an accident. Insurance companies and adjusters, at least until Mamdani gets done with them. They can be tough to deal with. By the time he gets done with them, it'll be a piece of cake. But right now, that isn't the way it works. So get a hold of Bradshaw and Bryant. Mike Bryan will put together a team, represent you, and help you through a tough time. I hope you're never in an accident, but if you are, and boy, it's a sloppy mess driving today, isn't it? Holy mackerel. Let's get some plows out there.
Hey, St. Clair Avenue.
It'll melt.
I guess.
Yeah.
I hope you're never in an accident, especially today. But if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com for a free case evaluation. And don't be part of the problem, especially on a day like this. Don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant. I don't know either. Who did something?
Okay.
No, I think I want to go to John Heidt.
I'm looking up the Bowery boys.
So you're going to have to take charge as a rugged individualist.
Well, before we go to John, I have a question. Who do you think has more commies in office right now? Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul specifically, or New York City? It'd be fun. I mean, who's going to win that contest? We should get a big board going.
I think right now, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Yeah. So far, New York City, you guys are just amateurs.
Right. Can't you feel it, though? Don't you feel the warmth of collectivism here? I do. It's, either that or I
once
turned
we
up the
get all
thermometer.
light rail lines working, then I will feel very
Such, I'm not kidding you. We were walking down, it was probably Bowery, and there was a pimp right out of, he looked like Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch. I mean,
nice
seriously.
reference.
And he was giving this prostitute the business.
Oh, boy.
And, and you think to yourself, well, boy, if I encountered that, I'd go beat the hell out of that guy. Now, we crossed to the other side of the street.
I have a lasting memory of the family trip. My parents must have gone insane.
Montreal?
And they took 6 kids. We left here. We went up through Canada, across Canada, down through Maine, into New York City, and back across the U.S. And I have a lasting memory of entering New York City, and the old man's at a stoplight, and a guy with a rag that was nothing but complete dirt. Came and started cleaning his windshield. And the old man said, "You are not helping me here. You're not helping me with this." And all it did is smear the windshield. The old man probably gave him a buck or something, and off we went. It's still in my mind.
That went on in the 80s right up until Giuliani wrecked everything by cleaning up the city.
Well, that damn individualist.
We just have to get back to those old school values.
You can get your windshield dirtied up by the bad towel.
Was the old man really test driving those magnetic for international Canada?
That came later.
Okay.
What was more greasy? The windshield of the family truckster in New York City, or
that's what it was, by the way.
Giuliani's hair dye going down his forehead?
It was a tie.
Yeah, that's
plus, you know what they were using for liquid to clean the rag out, don't you?
Urine.
Probably their own bodily fluids.
Yes, sir.
Yes. It was a nice cleaning job. Let's have John Heidt join us.
We just have to get back to those old school values, don't we?
We really do, don't we?
Hi, John.
How you doing?
I'm great.
This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company.
Is it going to be warm and collective news?
I'm going to try and make it warm. Yes.
All right,
John.
More slushy. More slushy.
I prefer individual. Wait till we get to the national.
All right.
First, let's talk about. I'm going to just I took a few notes while I was listening to the governor today.
Yeah.
The governor did answer some questions, and mostly he spent most of it saying things about the Donald Trump administration.
He's really hung up on that, isn't he, John?
Yeah, he actually said never has any governor in the history of the U.S. had to fight a war against the federal government.
But never has any governor in the history of the U.S. screwed up a state worse than Walsh.
He says he doesn't have any plans post-2026. He also said, we've speculated, of course, why this decision came. He says it was strictly a decision made by him and his family and talking to close confidants. And that's why he got out of it, from talking to those people. And let's see, I think that's about it. He says he will not resign, by the way. He said, and this is a quote, "Over my dead body." Will that happen?
His work's not done.
Well,
John.
let's not wish that.
Right, we're not hoping.
No, definitely not.
Well, his work's not done.
So
I know.
Yesterday.
And now, Chris, you're right. His work's not done, and now he has more time.
See?
Well, without worrying about getting reelected, he has time to clean this up.
There you go. He also he started it by saying, yes, he understands fraud. The buck stops with him. And somebody asked him if he thought there might be a fraud issue coming up because of this new leave program. And he said, no doubt people will try to take advantage of it, but we will stop them. They'll be prosecuted. And then he went on a little tangent saying, but if I take credit for the fraud and take credit for trying to clean it up, then I also get credit for everything that's a success in the state. So
it was
a weird tangent.
That's a short list.
What has been a success in the state?
Well, his definition of success differs from ours.
The only one, and I was listening to the show and him at the same time, but the only example he gave was clean roads, streets, highways. And then he said some more, but then I had to talk on the show.
Oh, hell, we've always
did
had
he see
roads.
traffic this morning? I don't think he saw all the people in the ditch.
Well, the freeways are in good shape, aren't they?
Well, when they get salted, they are.
I just had a report about 15 minutes ago during the show. Not that I answered my phone during the show, but they were bad this morning early, but now they're perfectly fine.
Yeah, they're good now.
From South St. Paul to the airport, 494-62 Mendota 5.
What time, Matthew? What time, Matthew?
That was at about 7:15.
That's when it got better. It was really bad between 5 and 7.
Can I give you 45 seconds of the hard work that this governor is now doing because
give me a solid 45
he is not
seconds,
seeking
Reeves.
re-election for the governorship of the great state of Minnesota.
This without having to spend any time worrying about the politics of this. I'm going to fight it, making sure that Minnesotans are cared for. I'm going to fight it by doing the respect that we should have for rule of law. So I just think all of you see this. It is just going to be relentless. Why 2,000 folks? What are they coming? Do they want to coordinate with us? You saw a U.S. attorney stand up, which was would have been let go by any other administration, speculating about things with no factual information. That's defamation. That's
what the hell is he talking about?
We are
basically saying he's the only governor that wouldn't have gotten rid of Joe Thompson.
He was talking about the 2,000 ICE agents. That's what he started with there.
So he's off the deep end. Huh?
His work is not done.
But at the end there, he was going after Thompson, was he not?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
You know, after I was in Mexico last week.
You were at sea.
I was at sea.
Yeah.
And I would tell you this. Mexicans are damn near American anyway. Come on in.
Pretty much.
I mean, it doesn't bother me a bit.
Jesus, Joe. Why would you? Jesus. Now
I'm off the grid.
I'm off the Baja.
Were you lucky enough to be at sea in the Gulf of Trump?
No.
No, he's the other side of the old country.
I wasn't near the Gulf of Trump.
Oh.
I was riding in a fishing boat off the Baja.
I know where you live now. I was damn near at your front
I saw,
door.
But you didn't see.
Did you see the silo?
He didn't see any electricity because I'm off the grid. I got Gilligan pedaling the big coconut bike over there.
Mr. Governor, if the mayor of Garage Logic, one of your contemporaries, had reached out to you with the entire 19-crew family, would you have invited them into the compound?
They would have had to try to find me. They would have had to crawl over the fence that I have that's made of chestnuts. And how I draw them in is I warm them up over the roasting fire.
Governor, are you telling me you've hired a bunch of locals to pedal the bike and you call them every single one of them? You call Gilligan?
I got Gilligan. I got Skipper. I got Mr. Howell. He's the senior guy, followed by Mrs. Howell, who helps tire them off.
You have a doc?
Yeah, I mean like a physician?
No.
I have a
dock
physician.
that goes out into the sea.
No, he calls it a pier.
A pier?
Yeah, it's a pier because it's more costly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm going to stop.
Stay the hell off it because I've got...
No, I'm going to I'm going to sail right to your pier.
I've got land sharks that have taught themselves how to walk down the pier and swallow human beings whole.
Yeah.
You know?
In other news,
back to John. I'm going to take off. Yeah. I'm going to go for a little swim.
All right, thanks, Governor.
Yeah,
can you rope some lotion on my back?
Yes, Rookie did that. It was very sexy.
Yesterday, the U.S. Attorney for Minnesota, Daniel Rosen, announced a man has been charged with assaulting ICE agents. 54-year-old Juan Carlos Rodriguez Romero, whom Rosen says is a Cuban national, is charged by indictment with 2 counts of assault on a federal officer with a dangerous weapon and 1 count of assault on a federal officer. This all happened December 21st in St. Paul. According to the press release, ICE agents tried to arrest him during a traffic stop, but he didn't obey commands and drove off. He hit 2 parked cars, lost control of his vehicle. ICE agents again tried to arrest him, but Rodriguez Romero drove his car toward the agents, hitting one of them who fired his weapon toward Rodriguez Romero. While officers were taking him into custody, the press release says he bit one of the federal officers, drawing blood. Jeez. 2 ICE agents were taken to the hospital with bruised ribs, a dislocated finger, and a bite wound. Rodriguez Romero faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted. As many as 2,000 agents are headed to the Twin Cities for immigration enforcement and fraud investigations, according to ABC News. One of the sources added the number of agents could change, but they'll be coming from other offices around the country. The Department of Homeland Security would not say how many agents would be coming to the state, citing officer safety. The state has been targeted by the government for both immigration enforcement and fraud investigations in recent months. ICE began Operation Metro Surge in December, largely focused on the state's Somali population.
Did you guys see the story about one of the Marriott outlets? No, it wasn't Marriott, was it?
Yes.
It was Hilton.
Hilton.
Yeah, one of the Hilton outlets canceled all their reservations. And then Hilton Corporate found out about that, and the S hit the fan.
No. They apologized.
Yeah, they apologized. Yep. Can you imagine turning away all those dollars if corporate found out about that? Oh, my God.
Yesterday, we told you about Jacob Fry being sworn in for his 3rd term as Minneapolis mayor.
That went well.
Yeah, also happening yesterday, progressive members of the city council were chosen to chair almost all of the city's council's policymaking committees.
Good luck, Minneapolis.
And Democratic Socialists occupy half the spots on an expanded leadership team. The Star Tribune reporting the appointments came over objections from the Fry-aligned moderate minority, who predicted the entrenched division of the city council will now continue for at least another 4 years. Elliot Payne, last term's progressive council president, won reappointment to that position over Linnea Palmisano, who was nominated by the body's moderate wing. Palmisano, a Fry ally, then lost again in the running for vice president to Jamal Osman, a swing vote who has been openly critical of Mayor Fry on issues of homelessness in his Ward 6. The roles of majority and minority leaders on the council were the subject of considerable disagreement during yesterday's meeting. Payne described the majority leader as a council member who would identify uncontroversial ideas that the rest of the body largely agreed with, but the minority leader would focus on advancing lesser understood policy positions. Well, Robin Wansley, Payne's nominee for minority leader, disagreed with Payne, stating she intended for the position to formally recognize the political diversity of the Minneapolis City Council, namely the 4 members who are Democratic Socialists of America. She said, I plan to work with the community and all of my colleagues on this body to prevent looming evictions. We're going to have to generate progressive revenue, and that includes a tax on the rich. Moderates rebuked the position.
Because they've never paid taxes.
Because they don't pay at all.
They don't pay anything.
Oh, my God.
My favorite, your gal Latricia had the best comment in the meeting. Councilmember Latricia Vitaw turned down an offer to nominate her for minority leader, saying, quote, I've never taken a job without a description. Which kind of
nice.
Wow. Leader is.
That's a pretty good line.
Council.
She's a very sane human being.
Now, are these socialists that are on the council, are these the kind of people that are going to bring downtown what Mayor Fry said in his speech, shoppers, residents, business people, and huge events?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good.
Yeah. On-air show meeting, we should have her on once a month.
Latricia?
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, that'd be fun to talk to her for 15 minutes once a month, just to get an update.
A live GL Town Council member wants to know, I know we talked about this last week in your absence. Joe, did you talk about the Somali daycare that was broken into and all the important documents were stolen.
I didn't bring that up.
In the wake of the oversight?
Really?
No, you didn't bring that up?
I
couldn't remember if we did or not.
I was gone.
Okay. The guy that was the spearhead of this, his name is, hang on. I got it right here. A Somali-run daycare in Minneapolis was broken into and vandalized with important documentation, including records related to employees and children at the daycare being reported missing. The break-in occurred as a national spotlight. We all know about the viral video. Nasrullah Mohammed, Joe, he's the manager of Nokomis Daycare Center. Oh. He told reporters last week that the facility was broken into overnight, and he believes the incident occurred between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., when you see the photo of the break-in, you see the knife that, or the what would you call it, the sawzall cut into it. Yeah, everything fell inside.
Oh boy!
Oh,
so it's a nice clean cut, but everything fell on the inside of the building. So,
whoops!
All of that documentation of all the kids that were there.
I'm glad. That
that all that information.
Thousands of children that were receiving.
Yeah, it was gone. It was taken from them, so they can't provide that information. Thank you very much, Jeremy.
National and international headlines. We'll move on to those. Stephen Miller, the top aide to President Trump, asserted yesterday Greenland rightfully belongs to the U.S.
No, it doesn't.
And he said the Trump administration could seize it if it wants to.
Well, it's poor Greenland. Just leave it alone.
Right.
Nobody's going to fight the U.S. militarily over the future of Greenland, he said, after being asked repeatedly whether he would rule out the use of military force. He said, we live in a world, the real world, that is governed by strength, that's governed by force, that is governed by power. These are the iron laws of the world since the beginning of time.
Who's this dipshit?
Stephen Miller?
Yeah.
Let's see.
He's on a jet airliner.
Yeah. Why do we want Greenland? Well, because it's a stop for planes in case we need to gas up, or
why not?
Why do we need?
Manifest
we don't need
destiny.
Greenland. We don't need it.
Come on.
We need a nice resort, like a gold-plated resort.
Put it on the list. It's number 51.
Yep.
Let's make it number 51.
I'm with Kenny. Yep. Right after Venezuela.
And then Canada, 53.
Why not?
America's cap.
Right. We're going to rename it Trumpland, not Greenland.
Yes. Trumpland.
That's awesome. Oh, my God. That's so awesome, Reavers.
Trumpazuela. Come on.
It's like Michael Jackson.
Let's just keep going.
Let's do it.
Why not?
Just to piss the Russians off. I mean, come on.
Well, unfortunately, Kenny, it would piss off all our friends, too, because Denmark, which owns Greenland, is a member of NATO. And NATO has that thing where if you attack one of us, you attack us all.
How did Denmark get Greenland? Why didn't we take it?
They bought it years ago.
Did we just drive right by it and go, we don't need that. We're going for USA.
Joe says they bought it years ago like it's a used Saudi.
Why don't
it's like getting,
half off.
Yeah.
Listen,
they got
listen.
a deal.
I've got a great idea. Give Denmark Venezuela for Greenland.
Oh, we're going to trade.
Number 51.
Like we're
Greenland.
a ball club. I need a left-handed relief pitcher. Here, take Greenland.
In a joint statement released this morning, leaders of France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Spain, the United Kingdom, and Denmark reiterated that, quote, Greenland belongs to its people. It's for Denmark and Greenland and them only to decide on matters concerning Denmark.
My people in Poland really took a stand here, huh? Okay.
Quick question. Can we take a direct flight to Greenland from MSB?
I believe you can.
You can go to Iceland for sure.
Okay.
Venezuela, of course, topping the agenda as Congress gets back from its holiday recess. But some lawmakers are wondering what happened to that key deadline regarding the Jeffrey Epstein files. Yesterday, Chuck Schumer slamming the Justice Department for failing to submit a report to Congress required by law that forced the release of the files. The January 3rd deadline for the Justice Department to explain its redactions for the produced documents came and went with no response. Democratic senator noted it has been 17 days since the Justice Department first violated the law by failing to release all the Epstein files within 30 days of Trump signing it. Instead, the Justice Department last month released a trove of files, many of which were heavily redacted. And then things got a little weirder. Right before Christmas, the Justice Department revealing it had discovered over 1 million more files related to Epstein in the Southern District of New York. It was then revealed the Justice Department was scrambling to recruit 400 lawyers to help review 5.2 million pages of documents related to the convicted sex offender, according to the New York Times, just before the new year. At least 12 people, including members of the security forces, have been killed since protests kicked off with shopkeepers in Tehran on December 28th, according to a toll based on official reports. Overnight in Iran, protests featuring slogans criticizing the Islamic Republic's clerical authorities were reported in Tehran, Shiraz in the south, and in areas of western Iran, where the movement's been concentrated. Within the government, under pressure to show a response to the economic pain, spokeswoman Fatima Majorani told state TV on Sunday citizens would get a monthly allowance in Iran equivalent to about $7.
Well, that's pretty good, huh?
I was wondering, will that help in Iran? $7 a month?
You get some Hostess cupcakes.
You do need to stop through Iceland. Iceland is your stopover before you can get to Greenland.
Thank you.
Iceland Air out of
Thank you. I didn't know we were.
You know the interesting thing about that? Greenland covered in ice. Iceland, very scenic, covered in green.
What's going on with that?
What's the town in Greenland? What's the word? Reykjavik is Iceland.
That is correct.
Have you flown?
No.
It is Ilulissat.
I don't know what that means. ILLULISSAT. I've never heard of that town.
So what's this Stephen Miller want? He wants Greenland or Iceland? Greenland.
He wants Greenland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say leave it alone. That's not our business.
Where are these locations in regards to Oak Island, where we're looking for treasure?
Oak Island.
That's a little lake outside of Boston somewhere they're digging. And it's the worst reality TV show that's ever been on.
Not a fan.
You're so easy, Suge. My God, you're easy.
I know.
Greenland is huge, but it's nothing.
It's just a land.
It's huge, but it's nothing.
Right. I mean, it's got a lot of land, but it doesn't have anything.
But strategically, right, I think it's supposed to be a place you can...
Well, we got along this.
Wait, there's a quick trip. Yeah, there's a quick trip.
You're kidding.
No.
There is?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Right outside the airport.
You know, that was one of your greatest puzzling questions you ever asked when the Wild were playing the Anaheim Ducks or whoever they were playing.
No, they were in Montreal.
Or it's Montreal. It goes, they got quick trip banners.
They got quick trips in Montreal.
That was...
We got him.
And then I started to notice they got them everywhere the Wild play.
Well, Joe, that's the in-house broadcast feed you were watching. Yeah,
they lost last night.
They did.
They cannot beat the King in that building.
I'm not going to tell Kenny the word you guys discussed on Monday Night Sports Stuff.
Wait, they got a cassette?
I never said the word. Pat did.
You did not. Patrick did.
Yep.
He has no respect.
No.
I didn't say
John, are you done or are you still going?
I got lots of stories, but, you know.
I want one more at least.
One more. Let's finish with some good news, shall we?
Warmth.
What else are we taking over?
We're going to warmth. Now, that would be bad news, Chris. General Motors on Monday reported a 5.5% increase in its annual U.S. sales in 2025, despite a 6.9% decrease during the fourth quarter. The Detroit automaker's results were driven by incremental sales of EVs, as well as gains in large SUVs and entry-level vehicles like the Buick Envista. GM's 2025 sales expected to be among the standouts for the U.S. automotive industry, which Cox Automotive expects to have risen about 2%.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying, because my eyebrows were raised immediately.
Very confused by myself there. GM is among a handful of automakers to report U.S. sales gains for 2025. Others, Toyota Motors sales were up 8%. Hyundai and Kia each achieved record sales of 8.4% and 7% increases. Chrysler parent Stellantis was down 3.3%. However, Stellantis' Jeep brand was up considerably over any year since 2018.
I am so thirsty. I would love to have a great cup of coffee.
You might have noticed I just poured myself a fresh cup, a good cup of coffee at a reasonable price. I got it from customroasting.net. You may think you're at the top of the coffee elitist list. I know I sure did. I'd been drinking the French roast from that Seattle supplier for years. And then I tried the French roast from customroasting.net. I found out the truth. The truth is their blend is way better than what I had been used to. Very smooth. I didn't realize the old brand was so bitter. Please give it a go if you haven't yet. And here's the tip. If you haven't, go to customroasting.net. Find the Garage Logic Starter Pack. That's a nice introductory offer. A sampler includes 4 10-ounce bags, 1 each of the Minnesota Morning Blend, Boundary Waters Blend, Columbia Excelso, and the best French roast you'll ever taste. You might just find out it's a life changer and end up hooked like I am. You know what? While you're there, hop around, check out the website, see all the flavors. And if the charitable organization that you're involved with, if you guys do fundraisers, click on the fundraising tab and check into the Custom Roasting Fund, the fundraising package. It's pretty cool. They're all set to go, and they can set you and your club up. Fresh hand-roasted coffee delivered right to your door. And you can order it whole bean or ground, a good cup of coffee at a reasonable price. CustomRoasting.net.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
Hofferman Water and Connecticut are here for you in the brand new year to help absolutely eliminate every single problem that you have with your water. And you know what? They've done that for me, and they will do that for you. Your first step, however, is you have to get on that schedule and have them come out for that free water analysis. You do that one of 2 ways. Call them directly at 612-895-2440 or visit their website at hoffermanwater.com. Either way, you'll get on that schedule. And as long as you're on that website, you can see every single different water treatment system that they have to offer. Maybe it's a brand new water softener, an iron, rust, and odor filtration system, or a brand new drinking water system. Or you know what? Treat yourself in the new year. Get all of them at hoffermanwater.com. You know what? Your laundries get better. Your showers get better. Your cooking is better. Your ice is better. Everything is better with Hofferman Water and Connecticut. 612-895-2440 or visit hoffermanwater.com. Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them here on the Garage Logic podcast.
Our friend Bill Glahn at the American Experiment, who's covered fraud for years, he's got some things to say about the Family and Medical Leave Act. I think he's providing them as a cautionary tale. He explained that Republicans previously refused to even hear any proposals when they controlled the Minnesota House for such an act. But the Democrats passed the law after gaining full control without any Republican support. Instead of using private insurance companies to administer paid leave, Glahn is faulting Democrats for creating an entirely new state-run bureaucracy staffed by hundreds of unionized government employees. This is going to be just like all these Medicaid programs that they start de novo, where they say, oh, we'll probably have $2 or $3 million worth of claims on this, and then it quickly balloons up to 100 or 200 million, Glahn said. Glahn outlined various ways the system could be exploited. Fake companies, fake employees, minimal contributions followed by large benefit claims, and multiple people claiming paid leave to care for the same relative without any realistic oversight. Because claims are tied to private homes rather than centralized locations, he argues the fraud detection will be practically impossible. Glahn also warns that individuals could work briefly, qualify, then repeatedly claim long periods of paid leave, effectively getting paid for a full year while working only part of it, and explained that Minnesota has a pattern of creating new entitlement programs that attract fraudsters who quickly identify loopholes and overwhelm the oversight. Thank you, Bill.
Well, you can see that. You can see that someone who is possibly new to this country and has brought their parents here that are elderly would jump right on it saying, I need to take care of them for the next 20 weeks because they are bedridden. But the state has to sign off on it.
And here's Glahn again, who said, I just did a little bit of citizen journalist-style research into the ballooning autism clinic scandal. The results are eye-opening. Just before Christmas, the U.S. Attorney for Minnesota announced a new indictment and a new guilty plea, respectively, in the autism fraud scandal. Abdinajib Hassan Yusuf and Asha Farhan Hassan. This scandal involves a Medicaid program, the Early Intensive Development and Behavioral Intervention Benefit. See, that's our problem in Minnesota. There are too many of these things. The program began in 2018. The autism clinic scandal has the potential to be the largest single fraud in state history. The FBI charts the program's rapid growth in this table included in a recent federal search warrant. I urge you all to go to American Experiment and .org. In 2018, there were 31 early intensive developmental and behavioral intervention providers.
So in 2018, there were 31.
Right.
How'd that grow to?
The total billed in 2018 for these 31 providers, 400 recipients.
Okay.
In 2018. 400 recipients, 31 providers, and the billed Medicaid amount was $1,115,000, and the total paid was not that. It was only $671,339 million.
What'd that grow to?
671,000.
339.
Okay.
What did I say? Million.
Million. Yeah.
Well, I'll end your suspense.
Yeah, tell me.
In 2025,
oh boy,
through September 30, the number of early intensive developmental and behavioral intervention benefit providers was 432.
That's 400 more.
That's right.
401.
The number of recipients was 5,887. So we went from 400 recipients in 2018 to 7 years later, 5,887 recipients.
Look at them grinding away at the math over there.
Yeah.
Total billed in 2025 through September 30th.
Not lay it on me.
Jesus Christ.
Are you praying?
$471,729,897. Paid.
It's a 471% increase.
Paid. That was the billing.
Yeah.
Some of them must have really, did it with crayon or something to be. They just had to get kicked out.
Duplicate entries.
Yeah. The paid amount was $290,000,000.
Oh my God.
$403,644. Compared to 7 years ago, the total paid out was $671,000. This year, in 2024 was more than that. $342,821,719 was paid. Guess what was billed in 2024? With fewer providers by 38 fewer providers in 2024, and
why aren't people showing
72 fewer recipients. Last year, $601 million, $268,592 was billed last year. And of that, $342,821,719 were billed. Total billed since 2018, $2,128,108,988, and total paid since 2018, $1,000,000,000 $89,177,987. And you just get up tomorrow and
See you
you
later.
just kiss the ground you walk on and you say, I love this state and I'm going to go work hard today to pay my taxes to Minnesota.
And how much of that billion was sent back to Africa?
Thank goodness we have a governor that's fighting Joe Thompson and President Trump and all the far right-wing propagandists.
Minnesota does look like a good place to do this.
This is bigger than the food fraud.
You know what? Here's why it's bigger than the food fraud. This is exactly why he's not seeking re-election. He's trying to get out while the getting's good.
I think I'm with Joe on this one. They swooped in and said, beat it, pal. You've got no shot. We've got a better idea. Here she is. Her name is Amy.
Yeah. Oh, no, he didn't do this on his own.
No, he wouldn't step down, Chris. No. He's too much of a narcissist.
Yeah. This was all engineered.
He was told. Yeah.
All engineered.
But those racist right-wingers.
Yeah.
It's fun knowing that Gwen can't sleep at night right now.
Well, she got to turn the page,
She's
baby.
turning the page, Ken.
Turn the page and smell the tire.
She needs
see
a
the
good rag
rage
to smell.
Did you see the rage in her eyes as that speech was happening yesterday? I'd cross to the other side of the street if I saw her in the Bowery.
Only because they come to us from the traveling Lymans who are ensconced in Kiawaka, New Zealand.
Are they out at sea or do we know?
No, they're not at sea. They're on land.
Okay.
You can follow them at worldwidewaftage.com. I was at sea.
Unlike you, who was at sea.
I was at sea.
Yes.
Yeah.
They drank rainwater, for a time. They were stuck on an island.
I was on this day.
Joe, today is January 6th.
In 1976, on this day, after presiding over the reserve mining lawsuit for 2.5 years, Judge Miles Lord was removed from the case because he was thought to have a bias against the company. Boy, did he ever.
Yeah.
On this day,
happy anniversary, January 6th, to all those that celebrate.
In 1996, Maud Keg, elder of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe and author of books on her childhood and Ojibwe stories, died. Maud was born August 26, 1904. She was raised in the traditional Ojibwe lifeways. In 1990, she earned a National Heritage Fellowship from the National Endowment for the Arts in her traditional beadwork. Her name was Maud Keg.
Wasn't she? She had a different role.
Maud?
Yeah.
B. Arthur?
No. This is Maud Keg. You're supposed to not ever say anything, you idiot.
I bet there was some good beadwork.
In the year 2014 on this day.
Joe, today is January 6th.
Yeah. On this day in 2014, Governor Mark Dayton.
Here it is.
This was the beginning of the end.
This was the beginning.
Ordered all schools in the state closed due to cold weather predictions.
Mark.
Not the cold weather. This was the first of many temperature-related closures that winter in 2014.
Was it like 80 below? What was it?
It doesn't tell
below.
me.
I think it was 4 below. I remember that.
It didn't. The record today was 1900. Oh, no. The record today for cold was 1912. They didn't close schools in 1912,
You're
did they?
going to the one-house room.
Get in there.
Get in there.
Can I throw an anecdote? Ken, you'll love this. So we had a 2-hour...
I wasn't done with this.
Oh, I was waiting. I thought you were because you looked at
I'm sorry.
Matthew.
This was the first of many temperature-related closures this winter, leading districts to develop related policies. The 2013-2014 winter was the coldest since 1978 and 79.
Gotcha.
Joe, I have just had a fantastic idea, and maybe we can pass this the next time legislature gets together. I submit to you the Paid Leave Act should include cold weather.
Oh, yeah.
If it's worse than 10 below,
you can't go in.
You got to take
the
a
whole
week off.
state is staying home and getting paid.
We closed. We ought to meet.
It's like all of February.
Kenny,
I can see it happening.
I know. That's the problem.
That's why I didn't laugh.
That's the
problem.
It's too plausible.
The Jordan School District decided to have a 2-hour late start due to icy roads. There was icy roads.
Well, you don't want the little ones getting banged up.
Eventually, they did end up closing the school, but the high school kids decided that how they were going to treat the 2-hour late start with the icy roads was go up and down her cul-de-sac and turn it into a hockey rink.
Yeah.
And then my two boys go, we got to go do that.
Yeah.
Boy,
that's a tradition.
Absolutely.
If the rinks freeze tonight at Groveland, will they be beautiful?
They will freeze tonight.
Because it's just a sheet of water right now.
We're dropping down pretty cold tonight, so they'll freeze over.
You going to lace them up?
I might lace them up this year. Hold on to the boards that go along the side.
Hold on, I'm going to get there.
Instead, you should go find an empty parking lot and whip shitties for an hour or so.
Johnny Hessian will be out there, the guy that owns the drugstore on St. Clair and Snelling.
Was that Vogel?
No, it wasn't Vogel. That's Johnny Hessian's what's the name of the drugstore there?
St. Paul Corner Drug.
St. Paul Corner Drug.
Well, I know the guy who owned it. It wasn't Johnny Hessian.
He owns it now. Yeah, he owns it now.
He bought it from Dick
McAllister guy.
Dick Jorgensen or whatever his name is.
Yeah. And he runs the Groveland team up there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if she freezes tonight, you're looking at some primo ice.
And basically now they just flood the entire field.
They just everything. Yeah.
Yes.
You can skate down Sargent.
You're down to Sargent, go to Thomas, pick up a bottle, and come back.
Thank you, GLers.
Yes. Yes.
How do you know this?
Morty.
Yes, New York.
Thank you.
We have a new mayor. He will take all of your money, even if you are a tailor.
Is he a believer?
He is a non-believer.
He certainly isn't.
Even more so than me, he is a non-believer.
He is not a believer.
You know what I'm a believer
I forgot to do sports disappointment history.
Why don't you wrap her up by doing sports disappointment history?
The Vikings lost again in 1990 on this date of the 49ers, 41-13.
I hate that.
Was that a playoff game?
Next year.
Yep, that was a playoff game.
That's the one where Sid ran down the sidelines.
Divisional playoff.
Yep.
Next year we got it.
Got what?
What do we got? The 18th pick?
Right.
Let's go.
Got what?
Yep.
Find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and The Daily Logician at GarageLogic.com. Time once again to check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh. And he is there for you for that free, yes, I did use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice. And he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. Boy, Josh, are you kidding me? $50K?
We are at $49K on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It does not seem that long ago, at least to me, when in 1991, with the Dow at 5,000, my investment hero, John Templeton, proclaimed that by the year 2000, the Dow would be at 10,000. And people laughed at John Templeton. They scoffed, called him all kinds of names. And he insisted 10,000 by 2000 on the Dow. And of course, the Dow actually exceeded that number by 2,000. And the members of the Dow today are different than the members of the Dow in 2000. But from over that 10-year period of time, to go from 5,000 to 10,000, it only meant the Dow had to average a 7% return per year. Money doubles by a factor of 772, and to go from 5 to 10, a doubling in 10 years is a 7% return. And given the fact that on a long-term base, not so much the Dow, I'll switch to a broader index, the S&P, on a very, very long-term basis dating back to the late 20s, that's in 1920s, not 2020, the S&P 500 has had an average return of 10%. That's not every year the market going up 10%, because investing in companies where you have owned assets as opposed to investing in bonds, or we'll say in bond funds where the assets are lending assets. Owned assets have, we'll say, no guarantee whatsoever, and you are betting on the companies increasing their sales, and increasing or hopefully maintaining or increasing their margins, which should push the price of their stock up over time. And owned assets and investing in companies, individual companies, or even investing in the entire market through an index fund have produced over time better results than putting money into bonds or any lending asset. Right now, the Dow going from, we'll say, 10,000 in 2000 to almost 50,000, 25 years later, with a lot of ups and downs, I think is an amazing feat. What's leading the Dow right now? Well, you have little companies like Amazon, which has had a very good showing at the Consumer Electronics Show, introducing some of their new products, including their new Fire Stick. And yesterday, as we had talked, Alexa, which will bring AI to life in your home and even on your smartphone. Salesforce.com has finally moved up off the bottom today. Sherwin-Williams. Caterpillar has been a big mover on the hopes of more infrastructure projects, not only, we'll say, in Venezuela or the United States or in China, but elsewhere around the world. American Express and Visa have also had some big moves up over the last several days, and Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan have also followed through, moving up significantly. The banks, particularly those banks that are involved in, we'll say, not only in regular banking, but investment banking, look to be or could be some nice winners this year as companies continue to raise money. And we have the prospect, no guarantee, of several large private companies coming public, including OpenAI. They can come public, but they'll show a lot of debt. But because they're the developers of ChatGPT, they'll get a lot of coverage. You have a competitor, Anthropic, also a big AI player that has money coming from, or primarily investment money coming from Amazon. They could also be coming public. And one that I've already been asked about, have you heard about Starlink? Well, Starlink is owned by SpaceX. That would be a very interesting company to potentially come public, and big banks, investment banks, will be part of that process. So that is one of the pushers for the banks, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, to be up the last few days. On the downside, now favorite Apple has shed a lot, either from profit taking over the last several days. As I said, would happen into the new year. I said that starting several weeks ago, that a lot of companies that had run up in 2025 would see profit taking happening in 2026, particularly early. Apple, which I have a price target of $400 on, and that's not going to be in a straight line, folks. Apple's gotten knocked down recently, some on profit taking, some on fears that they're not going to be selling as many phones, and there might be weakness in both Japan and in China. Today, Goldman Sachs came with a report that said App Store sales were only up % in December, down from up 9% in November, and App Store sales were hurt as gamers bought their games or elsewhere, or maybe didn't buy games. And I think that is more trivial than anything else. I would say, however, that NVIDIA, in their presentation at the Consumer Electronics Show, showed a chip embedded with some software that showed off NVIDIA's chip ability in autonomous driving, something that Apple had been working on but closed down. NVIDIA has been pushing, we'll say, more for use cases for, we'll say, artificial intelligence, including in robots and now in autonomous. And they've developed, we'll say, end-to-end solutions from developing the chips to developing hard or software for the chips. This stock is, we'll say, heavily owned, and a lot of chatter around this company, but it is still, we'll say, the leader in, we'll say, the chip space or high-speed chip space, and probably still growing at a pretty good clip. We'll have more, we'll say, coming out of the Consumer Electronics show in Las Vegas, as more companies are previewing robots, autonomous driving, and artificial intelligence.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation, again, with absolutely zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Chris. Be good.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorsed.